All right, folks. Well, it's time to greet everyone for another exciting afternoon of Imposter Kings action. That's right. You are in the right place at the right time. It is match number 3 of the tournament here this evening here on the West Coast. Sasuke versus DancingFaraz. And if you joined us for the match last night, your resting heart rate may just have returned to normal because it was a match for all time. Again, as always, it is your caster here, Dan Koch, here with the inventor of the Imposter Kings. Sina, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi there, I'm Sina. I'm the inventor of this game, and this is our third match that we're watching. Although it is the number 3 match in the game, we did a little bit of a reverse order, so at least it lined up here. But the one we're going to be broadcasting later today in this double header will be match 2 for those of you who are scribbling notes in your bracket at home. Really excited for today's matchup.
That's right. Tonight should be a lot of fun. We've got a lot of Imposter Kings on tap for today. A lot of great action. We've got a great match here coming up here in just a couple of minutes. You get a chance to meet a couple more of the competitors who are trying their hand at becoming the king of Imposter Kings here as part of 2020. And we'll get to meet both of them here in just a moment. So as part of our normal takeaway, we're going to begin here by first giving everyone a chance to file in and giving everyone a chance to learn the rules of Imposter Kings as we jump on into how to play. So how does one play Imposter Kings? Well, this is how. Just as a quick reminder for those of you who have joined our earlier streams, it all begins with players taking turns playing a card from their hand onto the throne. The objective is to be able to be the last player able to play a card. If you're the last player able to play, congratulations, you are a winner. In terms of how play actually happens, cards can only be played on cards of equal or lesser value on the throne, unless they have a special ability that allows them to get played on the current top card. So to give an example of what we're talking about here, this is a sample card, one of the cards we'll see today. It's the Elder, who again is giving us the side eye like we may have just, I don't know, accidentally made a fool of ourselves at a charity pancake breakfast. If you look at that top left corner, the Elder is worth 3. That's what that big number 3 represents. That means an Elder can be played on any card that's 3 or less. But you'll also notice there at the bottom, it says you may play this card on any royalty. That means the Elder, in addition to being played on 3s or less, can also be played on the 2 royalty cards who are both worth 9. So again, those special abilities can play big here as we jump into the game. A couple other things to note. There are 18 cards in the deck. It is the same 18 every time. Each player is dealt 8 of those 18 cards. The remaining 2 cards get burned, 1 face up and 1 face down. That face down burn card is the real wild card in all of this because otherwise the players have perfect information. They know whatever they didn't get is something their opponent did get, except for that face down burn card where all of the magic can happen. Each player also starts with a face up king card. Prior to each hand, each player burns 1 card out of the 8 they were given, and then out of the remaining 7, they select one to be their successor card, which sits face down in front of them next to their king, technically not in their hand. So here's what the king is. Again, they can use this king once per hand, and by doing so, they'll flip it. Flipping the king does 2 things. It disgraces the card on the throne, and it takes that face-down successor card that the player picked at the beginning of the hand and puts it into their hand. Now, what does disgracing mean? Well, a disgraced card on the throne is face down, has a value of 1, and has no special properties. So it's effectively wiped out. And again, you can play your king once per hand to disgrace whatever card's on the throne if you don't want to play on top of it or if you can't play on top of it. Here's another sample card to look at, the Inquisitor. 2 of those 18 cards are Inquisitors. It's a 4, as the number in the corner would mention. And as is noted there on the text, you may say a card name. Other players of that card in their hand must play 1 to their antechamber if you use the Inquisitor. What does the antechamber mean? The antechamber cards must be played next turn, regardless of whether it would otherwise be a valid play. So that means with the Inquisitor, You can guess a card in that player's hand, thus gaining information about what is in their hand, and you can force the player to play that card on their next turn, gaining initiative. A couple of other cards to be mindful of here. On the left, it's the Fool. The Fool might have just the mere humble number 1 in its top left corner, but it has a very potent power associated with that, because if you do manage to play the Fool, any card that's in the court, meaning on the table in front of you, that's face up, you can pull right into your hand. Can often decide a hand right there. On the right-hand side, that's the Assassin. Again, the Assassin is just the 2, but if you have the Assassin in your hand and your opponent uses their king, it's game over for your opponent. The Assassin assassinates them, and you win instantly. So again, the Fool and the Assassin lurk as 2 of those 18 cards, and a lot of play will be revolving around where these 2 cards are and how to combat them. A couple of last things to note for tonight. Games are to 7 points. The way Imposter Kings is scored is you get 1 point for winning, 1 point for the opponent still having a card in their hand when you win, and 1 point for winning without having to use your king in that hand. So a maximum of 3 points per hand that you can win. 7 will win you this game and advance you on in the tournament. So speaking of the tournament, let's just take a quick look at how that's all shaking up right now. So here's the Imposter Kings tournament list, and as we'll notice here, right now, 2 of our players have already advanced in the winner's bracket. Master X328 won on Tuesday night, beating Johnny Go to advance to the second round. And last night, in a real nail-biter, Juno Balls came back from a 5-zip deficit to win 7-5 over Shane and advancing to the second round as well. Johnny Go and Shane are not out of it. It's double elimination. They're just down in the loser's bracket and can very much win their way back in, but they've got a long road ahead of them. So this match tonight is between Sasuke and DancingFaraz. The winner of that match will play Juno Balls in the second round. The loser will pop on down to the loser's bracket, where they will play Shane in what is sure to be a pitched battle indeed. So all that introduction out of the way, Sina, good to see you again. I believe you've got a couple of things to say about tonight's competition.
Yep, we've got 2 really, really good contestants tonight. Both of them are people who wanted to train with us essentially immediately after they've watched the first 2 matches, seeing how intense the competition is. And so I've actually been spending time in the labs with them. It's been pretty fun seeing how each of their strategies are really different than everyone else's, but how those strategies are going to actually play out against each other. So I guess Sasuke, this isn't his first rodeo, right, Dan?
No, it is not. As a matter of fact, Sasuke, on behalf of his sick little sister, has been a very active Imposter Kings player over the last 25 or 30 years. Here is an example of recent gameplay that Sasuke is involved in. We're going to put that on the screen right now. Here we go. That's right. That's him playing against the devious king of Imposter Kings with the Skull and Bones eye patch, laying down a soldier with such intensity that there were blazes of light taking over the entire screen. Something else, huh?
Sure is. And yeah, so reading up on Sasuke, he's joining this tournament because him and his best friend, I'm reading his intro blurb that he gave me, which is, him and his best friend used to play the Imposter Kings frequently at the town's local game store after learning the best techniques from his father. It all started just as fun, but eventually he started playing with some bad people who played for money and power. He almost lost his friend after one game, and the incident led him to be expelled as a result. Now he's trying to use his power for good to win this money and send his sister to a good school to prevent her from running into the same groups that he did. He promised his father that he would stop playing after the incident, but he's going to have to break that promise today.
Ah, that's right, boy. The tension could not be higher. I feel high drama over the next 39 or potentially 52 episodes for this character, Sasuke.
Quite a lot of filler, to be honest. But yeah, it gets good at the end.
That's right. There might be an episode or 2 or filler in the middle, but it gets really intense in the last story arc. And then, of course, Sasuke is going to have formidable competition tonight in DancingFaraz.
Yep. But DancingFaraz's blurb is that he's a beginning Imposter Kings player, where due to the current COVID-19 global pandemic, he has used the game as an outlet for a human connection because of the complete shutdown of his much frequented nightlife scene in the before times. His ultimate goal in playing the Imposter Kings tournament is to get his name in the game's instruction manual as an automatic prize for his participation, because he would like to prove his existence as a friendship to Sina to a future generation of players before aliens colonize the Earth and destroy the human race. Wow, what an interesting blurb there. My favorite part of it being that he is the only person who put in the most detail, I would say, in his application to actually get inside this tournament. So out of the 15 people who wanted to play in the tournament, he definitely had all the chops for it. So
well, DancingFaraz is here and he wants to win. He wanted to be here. He wants to win. He wants to leave a keepsake to future generations before, again, those aliens come and destroy us all. It seems like he knows something we don't about what's in store for humanity.
I guess so.
But knowing what I know about Sasuke, he seems like just the kind of kid with the spunk to save us from aliens, perhaps through his Imposter King skills. Who knows?
Yeah. So, I mean, just as I was mentioning, I played with both of them beforehand. Sasuke actually beat me 7-0, and every single game he discarded the assassin. So I'm kind of curious to see if he's still going to do that and whether it would actually work with DancingFaraz, who actually is a lot more of an aggressive player than I am. So what that means is I think he's a little bit less cautious and may not care as much about the assassin as I did, which would actually counter Sasuke's playing ability. So we'll see what's going on there. DancingFaraz also likes to play dumb a lot in terms of hiding his assassin, playing the Inquisitor, asking if there's an assassin, or being just generally confused. The assassin, what does that card do? And then next thing you know, he'll throw it right down your king's throat. So you got to be careful for both of these players. They have very unorthodox playing styles, and I can't wait to see.
Well, I can't wait to see this all either. This is going to be a great match, high intensity, high impact. And before we join them in Imposter King Stadium, a couple of quick things we must do. First, a shout out to everyone who's collecting now, our audience and on the chat. Johnny, great to see you. Dance Commander as well. Happy Noodle, great to see you all. Thanks for joining in. If at any time you feel the urge to celebrate the excitement involved, go ahead and throw some emotes there in the chat. And that, I think, will keep the energy level high here this evening. Other than that, I think we're ready to play. Sina, anything else to throw in before we join everyone in Imposter King Stadium?
No, I think we're ready to go.
All right, it's time to play some Imposter Kings. All right, folks, there we have it. It is time to play. We're going to go ahead and give them the signal, and they're going to dive into the first hand.
All right, ready to go. So let's first draw for...
shuffle this, baby.
Yeah. Shuffle is what, R?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Nice. Yep. You can draw the first one.
Okay.
You are the true king.
I am.
So you get to choose who goes first.
Okay.
Then
When we draw, yeah. Okay.
we draw 8 cards.
Okay. Okay. Ready?
Hmm?
Okay.
Keep in mind, this is the first time they've played against each other.
Oh.
Unlike Shane and Juno Balls, who
For
have
some
played
reason,
against each
I
other
only
quite a
drew
lot.
one card.
As befits the classic beginning, there's a bit of a shuffling issue as things start. Important thing to note here, it's DancingFaraz who got the true king, which means that he will be able to choose who goes first this hand.
Okay. I don't know why. Yeah, okay. This is... how do you select all of them? Oh my god, this is such a disaster already. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go.
It looks like they're trying to figure out how to get the next deck going.
Right, so group G, okay.
Nice.
And then F for flip, and then...
Yeah. I pressed 8, but I only got 1 card, so I'll let you draw first.
Okay, okay. Got it.
A little bit of hotkey discussion here.
Okay.
All right, we got 2 hands.
Okay, and then let's see, and then we.
All right, we've got 2 hands in place. It's time to dig into exactly what was delivered. Again, DancingFaraz got the true king. That means that he gets to decide who goes first. Traditionally, the true king goes to whomever lost the last hand, but it's by random draw to begin. That's an advantage because you choose an initiative. Choosing who goes first is an extremely important decision. So let's take a look at exactly what hand DancingFaraz has got. And Sina looks like a pretty strong one. He got both royalty cards, so both the princess and the queen, along with the king's hand, although both the let's take a look before we even dig into his hand. Oh, I apologize for that. There is one important thing we need to look at, which is the burn card face up and face down. That influences things terrifically. The mystic is the face up burn card, and the assassin is the face.
Starting with the face down being the assassin.
That's always huge because now both players think the other player has the assassin when neither one of them has the assassin because it is the face down burn card. Always makes for a wild hand. So with that in mind, let's again poke back into DancingFaraz's hand. Both royalty, no fool, and to his knowledge, no assassin either. Sina, what do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, both players are going to be on edge thinking the other player has the assassin. 2 9s and an 8 is pretty good. The Mystic is the face-up card, so that means that Sasuke doesn't have a really strong hand here because he doesn't have any of the high number cards except for the Sentry. We know he has to have the Sentry. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, he's got one Elder. Sasuke's got the other one. It could be a bit balanced hand. Sasuke's going to have an Oathbound full combo, I think. So why don't we go over to his hand? I think this is a pretty good hand. We'll see what happens on the other side.
Okay, on the other side of the table, indeed, Sasuke does have the Oathbound full combo, the Sentry and the Warlord. Some work to do here. He does have one Elder as a countermeasure to the 2 royalty cards. Seems playable, but it might be a challenge.
Yeah, he's going to have to keep that Elder, I think, because then the only recourse he has is the Oathbound full combo as well as flipping his king against those royalty. And he has no idea whether Faraz has the assassin or not. Again, this is always a fun hand to watch as a spectator. So let's go ahead and see what happens.
All right, here we go. We'll see if Faraz wants to go first or not as we center up and give them the signal. And here we go, the first hand of this third match of the Imposter Kings tournament.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm trying to learn the lingo to make sure we stay kosher here. Okay, and then let's see. Yeah.
Looks like DancingFaraz is electing to put one of his royalty into the successor pile, which we saw was really powerful with Juno Balls last night.
That's right. The princess is his successor. He's going to burn one of his soldiers.
Oh, and it's I determine who goes first. So you go first. Sasuke. is it Sasuke? Sasuke?
Yes. Yes. Thank you, DancingFaraz.
Okay. Sasuke. Got it.
What is that you put face down?
Let's see. It looks like the successor card for Sasuke is the Judge.
The Judge, okay. So he's electing to hold on to that one. This is a tough call. Oh, he's going to burn the Fool, it looks like, or he's considering that. I know Johnny Go's probably getting excited in the chat here, but I think that that's not the right move. We'll see.
Very interesting. Burning the Fool. Well, you know, we've established again that Sasuke tends to be very aggressive with his burns.
Right.
Even cards that are powerful in the abstract.
Hold on, let me just make sure. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to... One sec here. Okay, so then... okay. So then you've burned 2 cards. So it's... let's see, so...
All right, and Faraz has decided to have Sasuke go first, so he's going to lead off here. Again, he has a couple
so I think I go first since you wanted me to go first. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Please.
Okay. Sounds good.
Looks like he had a little bit of hesitation, but he's now given the go-ahead. I wonder what his opening play here is going to be.
Be interesting.
So I'm going to say... I'm going to Inquisit.
Okay.
And I'm going to Inquisit that you have the queen?
I do.
Pulls the queen.
Okay.
So then I play the queen, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So he's
So
pulling the
play
queen,
the
out
queen.
of DancingFaraz's.
And then
And
let's see.
I love his-
Flip that. And then I have to
Disgrace all of
disgrace.
the
I have to disgrace that card. Okay, there's the queen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's your turn, right?
I'll play my Elder on top.
So that was the plan from Sasuke, was
Okay.
get that royalty card out early so he can elder it and try to soften the edge off of Faraz's hand early.
And then there's...
What's really interesting is that DancingFaraz's Elder is now not going to be as useful because with the full Oathbound, he could pull the royalty. But
now
in
it's
this
my
case,
turn. So you do the Elder. Awesome. I would like to Inquisit as well.
firing off another Inquisitor on the other side.
Okay.
They're just pulling cards from each other's hands.
Do you have an Oathbound?
I do.
Okay.
Great job pulling out the thing that's going to actually save him against that princess.
So can you play that card now?
I can.
Okay, cool.
So a lot of Inquisitor
Alright.
probing to start and smart play.
Now I believe you have a choice, right? You can use its power and then swap a card, or you can just play it as a business casual 6.
I'm going to play it as a business casual 6 because I have to play it on a higher value card to be able to use its power.
Oh, that's right. That's right. My bad. Good call.
Business casual. I love
Thank
how
you
they're
for
adopting
clarifying
lingo.
the rules.
Good rules
Appreciate it.
knowledge from
okay.
Sasuke there.
So then
He has been playing those games.
I am going to. I will. Okay. So yeah. How about that? I am. I'm gonna flip my king. Take my card back.
Interesting. So Faraz's going to flip his king in response to that Oathbound pull.
And now it's your turn. Thank you.
Just
Thank
flipping
you
the
for
king
disgracing that card. My bad.
with no, he doesn't even care about the assassin. This is exactly what I was talking about.
So Will does ask a question. If Oathbound is forced to play by an Inquisitor and happens to land on a higher card, does it still get the power? And Sina, I believe the answer there is it does, correct?
It does not. So when you play anything from your antechamber, you ignore the card value. So it's never played above on a higher card.
Interesting. Good to know.
Okay.
Okay. So my turn.
Yeah.
I'm going to play Soldier. Oh.
Okay.
And I'm going to use its ability.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask, do you happen to have an assassin?
I do not have the assassin.
Okay.
Ouch.
So
So
that
now you remain as a 5.
That is correct.
Okay.
so that's tremendous information.
And I am going to play the Oathbound. And gosh darn it. I hate the yeah, okay, thank you. Is that Sina or Dan who's controlling that?
I want to say it's both of them helping us out.
They're both
We're,
fighting over the hand. Okay.
Yeah, we are ominous. It's like
All right.
StarCraft where you have both
So I
players
just
playing
played
one
the
army.
Oathbound, and since it's a higher value, I can choose to.
It is not a higher value card, so you
I'm
don't.
sorry. It's not. Thank you. This Oathbound is so confusing. It does so many awesome things. I just get so confused. It's almost like the designer of the game just wanted to, make things pretty exciting, right?
That's exactly right. I'm like seething
We know
in the
they're
back here.
listening. All right, so yeah, the 6. Okay, so now it's your call.
So a couple of interesting things by that play. With I should say, Sasuke, making that play, the soldier, and guessing at the assassin, he now knows that the assassin is the face down burn card.
So I'm going
Correct.
to
which means he should know every single card except for the burn card
Flip my king
that
as
Faraz
well.
did.
Okay.
Unfortunately, by flipping that king, he's putting himself in a real dangerous situation because he needs that flip in order to beat that 9. One thing he can do is he can use the sentry to swap for an elder, potentially. Or the Oathbound, if he wants to just kind of go for a 1-point hand.
Okay, so...
Or the queen.
Now it's my turn.
He can't get the queen with the sentry because it's non-royalty.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I will play the Elder as a snappy casual 3.
Oh my gosh.
Because I have no other choice, obviously.
DancingFaraz brings some of his dancing energy here, coming up with new casual phrases for each of the different cards when you don't use their ability. I love it.
So that's right. So Vivek is in a bind because just as you mentioned, Sina, using that king flip means he has nothing to answer a princess play. And he knows that Faraz had the princess at some point because of his guess at the assassin. He knows the assassin was the face down burn. He knows the princess must be in Faraz's hand. And he's got nothing to answer it unless he uses a sentry to pick up one of those elders.
Yep, exactly right. If it was just the judge and the sentry, he could probably just go for a 1-point loss by doing the judge combo into something. But in this case, since he has 3 cards, he has to be really careful. I think he has to use the sentry to get an elder of some sort, but then that puts him in trouble against the other 8. He's in a lot of trouble right now.
I'm going to play the Warlord.
Ooh, this is writing his own death
power
warrant.
of 9.
Yep.
Because there's royalty.
There's royalty, and there were disgraced cards, so it makes it. If there any royalty, it's a +1 in your hand, and after you play it, it's a 9. Okay, got it. So it's a 9. Okay,
that is correct.
So Faraz
has to play the 9.
I will play my zealot.
Oh,
because,
he decides to play the zealot instead.
My king is flipped, and I can play it on any non-royalty card.
So that's interesting. You know, as we're discussing, you know, again, I guess he could use the zealot in this case instead of just going straight for the kill with the princess. It really, all that's left at this point is if Faraz realizes that the princess is the knockout blow and deploys it before Sasuke burns his hand.
I'm going to
Sasuke can burn his hand right now if he guesses correctly with the judge. We'll see if he decides to do that. I think that's the play. It's a tough play, though, because no one ever uses the judge. But here he goes.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that you have the princess.
I do have the princess.
So he is going to be able to escape.
Okay. So I get to add this card to my antechamber here, and it'll be able to get played no matter what.
He's really talking it through. I love it.
What in the next turn, huh?
Mm-hmm. Sina, do you think that Sasuke realized he had painted himself in a corner there?
I wonder. I mean, we'll have to ask in the post-game interview. I think he figured it out.
Mm-hmm. Then I will play...
And for the commentators, if he did King's Hand it, all would happen is that he would just play a sentry and be the same outcome. So at that point, he's already made the mistake. So Sasuke has escaped
there she goes. Okay, there
with 1-point hand.
All right, so I believe that's 1 point for me, right?
Might be 2 points.
Nope.
Oh, 1 point for us. Okay, 1 point, 1 point. Sorry.
1 point. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's
I'll play.
Okay. Good game. Good game.
So starting off the bat with a 1-point hand.
Okay, and then
to DancingFaraz.
We will flip our homeboys here.
So a couple of things to dig into from that hand. First off, you see the advantage of making your opponent go first because you get card advantage. That means, you know, barring something like a fool play or an oathbound play that changes the number of cards played per turn. It means if you play all of your cards and they play theirs, you will win. You will get a 1-point victory, and that's what happened for Faraz there.
Correct.
At the same time, Sasuke got himself in a jam with that king play. Sina, do you think that was the pivotal moment of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it started off from the beginning when he didn't have the fool. So Yeah, I think that I was really just hoping for him to hold that fool because I think that would have really given an advantage. However, DancingFaraz did pull he did pull the Oathbound out of his hand, so I don't know what would have happened. It would have been something I would have definitely loved to explore.
All right, well, a lot of leather flew in that first round. Faraz gets 1 point. That means the true king passes the Sasuke. He now gets to choose who goes first in the second hand. One other important thing to note, each player does get one free mulligan. So if they don't like what they got after a deal, they can toss it away once per game for free. All right, we've got our hands. Let's take a look at the burn cards here. The face-up burn card is going to be an Oathbound, and then that pivotal face-down burn card will be an Inquisitor. Okay, so let's set these aside and take a look at Sasuke's hand as he chooses who goes first. So Sasuke here got both 7s, both 8s, the Fool and the Assassin. A curious hand indeed. Sina, what do you make of it?
2 8s, 2 7s. It's a really good hand. No Elders. Very scary. No Oathbounds. Also very scary. This is a very scary hand. They showed 1 Oathbound, so Faraz can take advantage of this. DancingFaraz can take a huge advantage of this. Otherwise, I mean, I really love this hand. That's really going to be tough, honestly.
Yes, huge risk, huge reward on this. You could lose by 3 points. You could win by 3 points with this hand. Let's flip around to see what Faraz has in his hand.
At least Sasuke has the Assassin, so you can know he can flip the king for 1 of the 9s. So
that's right. And if you're Faraz, you look at this hand, you say, I have both royalty cards, I have both elders, I have one of the 2 Oathbounds. That means that, at best, Sasuke could have his king flip and 1 Oathbound to counteract my 2 royalty cards. We'll get into what...
The Oathbound is face up, so actually, if Faraz realizes this, he can actually just win this game outright.
That's right, and we'll explain why that is in a second. You see, for the 2 royalty cards, the Queen and the Princess, there are 6 things you can do as an opponent to deal with a 9. You can play the other 9 if you have it. You can flip your king. You can play one of the 2 elders. You can play one of the 2 Oathbounds. So in this case, where the 2 elders, the 2 Oathbounds, and the 2 royalty are all accounted for, and you know none of them are in your opponent's hand, that means that they are dead in the water if you just play both your royalty out of the gate without stopping to ask any questions. So indeed, if Faraz realizes this, it's an instant 3-point hand. Also, if Sasuke realizes this, he might be quick to mulligan. We'll have to see.
Yeah, what's the face down card?
The face down card was an Inquisitor.
Okay, sounds good.
So we'll see if they realize this. Let's give them the sign and see what happens.
Since you have the true king, can you tell me who you'd like to go first? Sasuke?
I'd like to go first.
Okay, you'd like to go first. Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right.
Again, it's Sasuke-kun. Honorifics are important. But maybe he's intentionally omitting it. Who knows?
It's quite possible. He could have called him Sasuke-chan to try to get under his skin.
He could have. Or Sasuke-sama in a very pejorative way. But let's see what he's going to do here. I mean, I don't know. Oh, it looks like DancingFaraz is not realizing it because he's put one of his royalty as a successor.
But he might be reconsidering.
Because he can, that'll make it so he loses a point because he has to flip his king to get his second royalty.
You're okay with that, right? Or my successor? You're okay with that, right?
So right, he obviously burned one of his elders. Elders are very little value when you have both royalty cards in your hand. And if you're Sasuke in this case, you look at his hand and you think this is a powerful hand, unless, again, you take into consideration how you're going to fight the royalty cards. So right now he's got to think deeply about what he's going to do and how he wants to go first, knowing he might be in a jam.
Just a second here, because I'm taken for a bit of a loop right now. So, okay, you burn one, got it. Okay. And then, Yeah. All right. Why not? Let's have some fun with this one, huh?
Oh,
We had an internet blip, but that's okay. I'll just go ahead and re-invite the players right back into the game. All right, sorry about that. We had a bit of a Comcast break. Comcast providing us with just a small intermission to that game, but everyone's filing back in. Let me go ahead and make sure everyone takes the right seat at the table. I'm assigning up. Yep, Faraz took green. Sasuke should take a white. Here we go. Change color. There we go. And we should be right back to where we were. Apologies for that. Sina, you still there?
Yep. I'm just working with the players right now to make sure that they're back and situated.
Great. So, again, interesting choice by Sasuke to toss his assassin away. As we've seen, he has a tendency to do that. The Zealot is his successor card. Zealot, typically a strong successor. Again, as a reminder of what the Zealot does, it can be played on any non-royalty card after you flip your king. Until then, it's a normal 3. But it's not the non-royalty cards that are going to be a problem for Sasuke. The royalty cards are where all of his troubles begin and end, because he, again, is missing that second countermeasure. Johnny Goes asking, there's no way for Sasuke to interact with 2 9s. There is not. Again, as a reminder, there are only 6 counterplays for a 9. The other 9, a king flip, the 2 Oathbounds, and the 2 Elders. And unfortunately, besides the king flip, Sasuke's got none of that in his hand. All right. I think right now my broadcasting partner is giving them a couple of instructions to help them get situated and ready to roll. And they will soon get underway. This should be intense. Again, it all hinges on whether Faraz realizes the strength of his hand. And for Sasuke, he has what appears to be a strong hand. It really just depends on if he realizes that one critical weakness of his position. He's elected to go first. That's the right move. He's got the Inquisitor.
As he says in the video, this is bad.
Actually, I believe that was Dylan who said this is bad in the video. And believe me, I've seen it many times.
Shout out to Dolan, who will be playing in the next Imposter Kings round tonight. So maybe he'll say it then.
That's
maybe he'll reprise his role.
Yeah, that's right. So are our players ready to rock? There they go.
I think they're just taking their time to think at this point.
And I'm going to ask, do you have an Elder by any chance?
Oof.
I do not have an Elder.
I'm not quite sure.
Oh, wow. I know exactly what Sasuke was trying to do there. He's trying to get the Elder out so he can sentry it up.
Smart move.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to...
And I can't believe that DancingFaraz parried that by putting his Elder down.
That's right. By putting both Elders as his burn and successor.
Okay, I'm going to judge you hardcore. I will use the judge's powers to inquire if you have... Wait for it.
We're all waiting for it.
Okay. If you have a warlord.
I do have a warlord.
You do have a warlord. Good to know. Okay.
Now with the judge, you don't necessarily have to play a card to the antechamber.
I have to put a card in my antechamber that's worth 2 or more. So, and I believe you can do it face up, right?
It has to be face up.
Yeah, you can do it face up. Yep.
Do you have to do it face up, or can it be flipped?
You have to do it face up.
You have to do it face up? Okay, got it. So, in my antechamber is my soldier.
So, clearly here, Sasuke is aware of the vulnerability of his hand by trying to draw that Elder out. Parried really deliciously by DancingFaraz here. Sina, did you think that DancingFaraz knew that that play was coming and that's why he decided to toss both elders the way he did?
I have no idea, actually. I mean, I think that is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together until I noticed that Sasuke was trying to pull the Elder with the Inquisitor, which I thought was also brilliant. So both minds just fire in full cylinders here to really surprise us. I mean, this is crazy hand already.
So
this is really tough.
Clearly, Faraz is not fully aware of the strength of his position, because of how delicately he's playing right now.
The roofer banging on my roof right now?
And we can, just faintly.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Note to everyone listening, I'm redoing my roof ahead of the winter season, and he's been here all day. Was supposed to be gone around 5, but they said he might stay till 8. So you might be hearing his pounding for a while. My apologies to everyone.
But it's a good choice to get one's roof done in the summer, just like it was a good choice again to toss those elders. Again, Faraz, I don't think has fully calculated that all he needs to do is just...
What was that noise?
brute force Sasuke into a 3-point loss here with his 2 royalty cards. But maybe he does, and he's toying with his prey. What do you think, Sina?
Yeah, I'm not so sure what's going on in either player's mind, but as we see them play more and more cards, I think we're kind of unraveling their strategy. I think right now Sasuke was really banking on at least 1 elder, which is really a bummer for him. And I don't know how he's going to recover from this, other than potentially getting, I don't know, his full to get an elder that was played if he gets that other elder out, or I don't know what he's going to do right now. So he's thinking about putting down the sentry and using its ability, I think. Because one benefit if someone does use the judge is that you basically get to use an ability for free, because they're going to just play that card no matter what next.
That's true. He could use the sentry to reclaim his Inquisitor.
I'll actually think I will. Put me in the pickle here. DancingFaraz.
I'm in a pickle here.
Mystic. Mystic, okay. So that's a business casual 7 because there are no cards disgraced in the court.
That is correct.
That's right.
Okay, good to know.
That said, I don't think there was anything that compelling for Sasuke to Mystic anyway. There.
I have to play my soldier. That's right. I have to do that. Even though your Mystic is of larger value because it was in my antechamber, I have to play it. And since I have to play it, I can guess a card and then.
It's almost like he's disappointed about the fact that he gets to play that 5.
Okay, so let's see. Do you have Mr. Sasuke? Do you have give me a sec here, sorry.
So dramatic, and then
let's see. Yeah. Do you have a sentry?
I do have a sentry.
Cool.
That's right. I would agree with Johnny Go here in saying you just pick a card you know that he has.
Right? Okay. Got it.
This has got to be agony if you are Sasuke, because
and I get to disgrace 3. Oh, my bad. Here we go. Yeah, I'll just disgrace these 3 then.
Okay.
There we go. Put that on top.
Yeah, this has to be agony if you're Sasuke. You know you're in a jam. Really, his only saving grace is, well, maybe one of the royalty cards was the face down burn card. That would bail him out.
Maybe DancingFaraz uses the princess's ability and he can king's hand it.
That's true. That also would get him out. That's a good point. So he needs help.
You guys need to send him his energy. Any good anime arc requires him to be kind of beaten up first, so. I did hear that he goes Super Sasuke if you put enough emotes in the chat here.
I'll play.
Just gonna play the King's Hand.
King's Hand. Business Casual 8.
Business Casual 8. Okay. I will play.
So Business Casual 8, I think the only thing that can bail out
Big decision here.
Sasuke here is if for some reason Faraz decides the king flip, which will at least save him a point.
Okay.
That would be a baffling decision knowing that the assassin is potentially out there.
I'm going to play my princess and use her ability to...
I hope he doesn't swap the Oathbound.
Thank you, Sina and Dan. Sina and Dan, they're both controlling at the same time. And then I will swap a card with you.
Well, the King's Hand's already played. It's too late.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I hope he doesn't swap the Oathbound on accident, but he didn't.
Take your time. Take your time.
Well, what do you do here? I guess it doesn't really matter that much. If you're Sasuke, you're really just handing him another knife when he already has 2 nuclear weapons.
All right, there you go.
So he decided to ditch the fool there.
Is this your card? Is it good to take?
Yeah, that's good to take. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
This is just an agonizingly long
now
execution.
It is your turn, Sasuke.
God.
As Johnny Go has pointed out in the chat, any good anime follower knows that Sasuke must go down 6-0 in grueling fashion to set up the entire arc here.
Okay.
Can't play that.
That's not a valid play.
And
the Warlord becomes an 8 when you play it.
9. Good to know. Good to know.
Oh wait, I cannot play that apparently.
So the Warlord doesn't become a 9 until it's in the court.
Because in your hand it's an 8, but if you play it, you have to successfully play it for it to become a 9. So you can't play it on mine because it's actually an 8.
Ah, I see. Let me take that back.
Yeah, all good. But I knew you had a Warlord, so you didn't really give up anything there.
I did not, which is good. Then I'll put my king.
All right.
Flip your king, okay.
There's the king flip.
Alrighty, so that's disgrace. So now it's my turn.
I think there's more toying that's going to come here.
I'm gonna play the fool. That's a Galantis song that came out recently. Sina's gonna love that reference. What song is this? It's Galantis, Only a Fool, but I'm playing the fool. So I am going to choose Mr. King's Hand to take back.
I think he is, honestly, I think it's just trying to be really careful here. I don't think he realizes the power he had. I mean, this game could have been over 4 or 5 cards ago, but he just doesn't realize that there's literally nothing that Sasuke can do. He's helpless.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just as you mentioned and Johnny Go mentioned, this is not intentional. It's not an intentional kind of vindictive playing around as an anime villain might do. I think, again, it's just conservative play to make absolutely sure that he's going to pick up 3 points here.
Or maybe he's actually trying to wear him down mentally. Just, he knows, maybe at this point Sasuke already knows that he's lost. It kind of feels bad when someone just keeps just jabbing you over and over again. In fact, I might at this point have already conceded as Sasuke. He's now looking at his sentry to see if he has any opportunity to survive, but nope, the soldier disgraced all the cards that would have helped him.
The soldier.
Do you have the king's hand?
How did you know? Yeah, I have the king's hand.
Nice.
So now it's a 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does make the soldier a 7.
Well, in that case, I am going to. Okay, there's a couple of ways I'm deciphering how to play this. So I have the king's hand. Cool. So that is now a 7.
Just watching Faraz paw his Oathbound is really giving me nerves here.
You think there's any way you can mess this up?
Okay, let me just.
I'm just really concerned he'll talk himself into a king flip and give up a point somehow.
I'm so sorry. Because this is a very pivotal point in the game for both of us.
This is exactly what we're talking about.
For reasons that will become clear.
This is exactly what we're talking about when we're saying that when you're on the stage itself, this game becomes a lot harder.
That's right. We were talking about that after the show last night with Shane, where that's true. With an audience on the stage, with broadcasting going on, knowing it's going to be on the VOD, it really does change the way one plays. You might freewheel it when it's just a casual game late at night, but when you're on the big stage, you tend to get more conservative. And we've seen that by the number of 1-point games. Oh my gosh, there comes the Oathbound.
And it is a business casual 6.
It is not.
Can't do that.
Actually.
Okay. Oh wait, it's a business casual 6 for my soldiers is a 7. So you have to use this ability.
Oh wait. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I have to use this ability. You're right. Okay. Then in that case, oh man. Okay. I don't want to do that. Can I take that back?
Yes, he is allowed. He should be allowed.
Yeah, you're allowed to take them back. Sina said it's cool.
Cool.
Sina said it's cool.
Okay, my bad.
You heard it here live
I
on
would
stream
like
first.
to flip my king.
Oh my goodness.
No! Sorry for that loud reaction, folks, but that was what I really feared, was that he'd convince himself of that. The only thing that would have made this more brutal is if...
Which means this is disgrace now? All right.
Is if Sasuke still had the assassin, thus turning what should be a certain 3-point loss into a 2-point win.
And, he still has the king's hand, to be fair, just in case there was the assassin. But, man, he's going to be kicking himself when he realizes that he had this game approximately 4 turns earlier.
Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot that I'm sorry. Never mind.
Now, as Johnny's pointing out, again, if Faraz plays very conservatively here and is concerned about something that Sasuke may do, holding the queen in reserve until the end, it might be possible for him to skitter out with just a 1-point loss here. And again, a lot of this is just nerves. A lot of it's nerves on the big stage. That's why we've seen so many 1-point games these last couple of days, or folks fighting for every point, but also maybe being afraid to play risky.
So that is
that's just the 7. No royalty face up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay, good to know. I will then play...
Just think about that Oathbound again.
I feel like that roofer is trying to give him a signal.
And because it is a higher value card, I get to...
Is he going to play the Elder? What is he...
And I have to play another card. So of any value, and so I play.
He's
Elder.
on. Oh my goodness me! Now he can use the sentry, pick up the Elder, or stick with the Zealot. Okay. He literally can get.
About that. Let's just.
He can literally get 1 point here.
You're
absolutely correct.
Help from the hand of God here. Okay, here we go.
This is
hand of God. Sina, Dan, maybe. Okay, never mind. We got it.
I was going to help him, but I just feel like.
Cool.
I'm stunned here. I
Can you do them a favor, Dan? Can you move the stack a little higher?
I can. So let me go ahead and give them a quick shift here, just to give them a little more space to play.
Oh.
But this, I really am very afraid of what might happen here, because you're absolutely right, Sina. If Sasuke plays his sentry and swaps his zealot for the elder that's there, there is a possibility that he could actually win this hand. Or no, escape with a 1-point loss, I should say.
Yeah.
It'll still be a 1-point loss in that case.
That's basically a win at this point. Based on the hands that they started with? Oh my goodness.
You know, this has been a stunning hand. I was stunned at the beginning when, because Sasuke, again, with his hand, was always going to need a couple of mistakes on the other side. So when he tossed away the assassin at the beginning, which is the kind of hand...
I'm just going to move stuff over so we have some room.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
that's okay with you. Oh, never mind. Hand of God. There we go.
So
I mean, it's a 50-50 at this point. So if he decides to do that sentry play, it becomes literally a 50-50. I mean, at this point, Sasuke's like, wait, did he throw away the queen? I mean, that's what would be going on in my mind.
Yeah, I've got to think. I mean, I think you can tell also in the pace of play here. I mean, Sasuke's been playing slow, just like a man walking to his execution, going to the electric chair. And Faraz, I think, has been playing slowly because I think he's lost his trust in himself in terms of how to take this advantageous hand and to win with it. And I think that lack of self-confidence is manifesting itself here.
And I probably wouldn't take the elder, because if he takes the elder, then he knows DancingFaraz would know he had the elder in his hand.
No.
Right? And then he would just play the other card, ideally. He's going to play his conservative play here. His winning play, again, 2 points if he plays the queen, 1 point if he plays the king's hand.
I will play...
He goes with the queen.
He goes with the queen.
Well played.
He salvages the second point from this hand.
So, yeah, we'll not be able to play that one.
I think that's 2 points for me because your king was flipped and you had cards left over. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We've talked about this before. We talked about it last night. We talked about it on Tuesday.
Keep this king, and then I think you just want to throw that card in your hand into the mix here.
Sure.
Nice.
This game.
Oh, right. Wow. That was something.
You still have the true king.
Mm-hmm.
This game is not just about winning and losing. This game is about maximizing your wins and minimizing your losses. And that 1 point that Sasuke salvaged by just hanging in there could be pivotal. He's only down 3-0. That means he's not within one hand of losing the game. He's still in a very winnable position. That point could be a big deal. So after all of that, it's 3-0. DancingFaraz up. Sasuke retains the true king and gets to decide who goes first. And this is
couldn't believe that, man. So I'm still thinking about that. I would have given up and lost 3 points there, and his persistence really pay off there. So
all right. So interesting play here. The face-up burn card is the Zealot. The face-down burn card is the Fool, which again can cause a lot of mayhem when both players think the other player has it. So Sasuke, having the first player king, the true king, will start with his hand first. And this one's a lot better than the last one.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to throw away that assassin like he likes to do. So he's got 1-9. He's got 1-9, 2 7s, and an elder.
Very playable, having both 7s, the queen, and the assassin again. Maybe he'll check it, maybe he won't. It's a balanced hand. He has neither 8. And usually when you have a mystic in your hand, and your opponent, likely has both 8s, one play you're thinking about is how can I wipe both 8s out in one mystic play, setting it up by getting a disgraced card in the throne early. You may be using your inquisitors or your soldiers to force the fact there, and then using that to weaken their hand so that you can either assassinate them or just play them out.
Correct. Yeah. And 2 inquisitors, I would want to go first here.
Absolutely. Looking across the table to Faraz's hand. Interesting setup. So again, no fool in play, although neither player knows that. Both Oathbounds, the princess, and both 8s.
Yeah, this is a pretty strong hand with a double 8 and 2 Oathbound. So, yeah, that's a pretty strong hand too.
Very survivable hand. I'd say this one could go either way for either player. Again, I think that fool being face down will cause a lot of mayhem. We'll see who our friend Sasuke wants to go first, and we'll also see how much mayhem the face down fool is inspired. It looks like Sasuke is going first. Let's give him the signal and see what happens.
Who would you like to go first?
I'd like to go first.
You'd like to go first? Okay, sounds good. Okay, and we will go ahead and burn a card. Okay, and then
he's hovering over. Sasuke is hovering over that elder. I'm wondering if he's thinking about it, and that's dangerous, knowing that there is another royalty. I mean, he's got his king flip and whatnot, but it can be really dangerous if you don't know who has the fool, because they can snap up one of those royalty again. Burns. Oh, no, he's keeping the assassin this time.
Keeping the assassin and protecting it as his successor card. Very interesting. Again, it's a little unusual to do that when you have both Inquisitors, because usually what you do to that is to protect it from an Inquisitor play, to have it drawn out of your hand with an early Inquisitor. So interesting there. The burn cards. So
he got rid of one of the Inquisitors.
He burned one of his Inquisitors.
Okay, so
on Faraz's side, he burned the soldier and the princess. He made his successor card. Again, a risky thing to do when the assassin is unaccounted for.
Yeah, I would like to see Sasuke flip his king pretty early here. I know he's not used to using the assassin because he normally checks it, but in this case, you got to get rid of that king's hand and you got to play it early.
Be very interesting to see how he leads off.
He's thinking about it. I think he's hovering over the soldier here, which is kind of an unorthodox start. It's one where if you want to pressure numbers really quickly, he has both 7s, so he knows that if he actually nails it right, he's gonna have to force DancingFaraz to either flip or play a high level card. So actually, I really do like the 5 play when you have both 7s, just for that reason.
Agreed 100% there.
We're waiting for them to tell us to go, right?
Well, we'll let them know to go.
No, we can go ahead and play.
Oh, okay. Good timing. Okay.
No, we should be playing. I'm just taking a long time.
Oh, I see. Okay, my bad.
No, you're good.
Sam, thanks for joining in. Old Bacon Eater, great to see you. Mike, great to see you as well. For folks who are curious about that Mike Draws Dota character who just jumped in the chat, he is the person to whom you owe this beautiful art on all of these cards. So give him a pat on the back the next time you chat with him right there in the chat.
And I will say that you have an Oathbound?
Oh, he goes for the Oathbound. Interesting.
Reaching for the Oathbound. An interesting play there.
I have to play that Oathbound, correct?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Okay.
Huh. I wonder what he's going to do with that.
Just play it now.
I mean, he's probably been calculating in his mind how he's playing this out.
It's not on a higher card. I can't disgrace it. It's just a casual 6.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Okay.
You know, all the kids today with their casual 6. I had to.
Can't leave home without it, honestly. What do you think his second play is here? I mean, this is tough. Like, I want to get that assassin in my hand, knowing that the other person does not have the assassin. But I mean, what is he thinking? I mean, he's got 2 7s he can play. He does not probably want to play the Mystic because he can't use its ability. Definitely want to use the Mystic to call out the 8s, especially if you know your opponent has both of them. He's got the queen he could possibly play, but he has to know that he probably has the elder. In fact, I would have loved to see the Inquisitor into the elder, just to get that elder out of his hand.
Yeah, I think he. I suspect he wasn't going to do that when he tossed the other Inquisitor, because Inquisitor,
All right,
Elder,
so
Inquisitor,
I'm gonna
something else
play-
tends to be a very strong starting gambit.
Soldier.
Yep. Oh, can't play the soldier.
Oh, wait. That is not a legal move. Sorry. Sina's about to jump in and say that right away.
He knows me too well.
My bad.
So yeah, I'm not quite sure what our friend Sasuke was doing, fishing at Oathbound out, but it's possible he's playing 9D chess and we're playing smooth brain checkers. Very possible.
Smooth brain checkers. You know, checkers is also really complicated, Dan. You don't give it enough credit.
Not if it's
I
smooth
think-
brain checkers.
That's true. Shout out to everyone who has riches in their brains. Sorry for those who don't. Yeah. So it could be that. I mean, it also could be that he was just trying to get rid of the full Oathbound combo.
I'm actually gonna.
He's gonna flip his king.
Flip my king here.
There it is. Okay. So he decided to flip his king.
and Take this card
Okay.
back, and then we can disgrace that.
Okay, got it.
Yep, so it's all you.
Now it's my
So king flip, not a bad move there. It does telegraph to Faraz that the assassin is not something that Sasuke was worried about, i.e. he likely has it, but doesn't maybe seem like that might have registered. It also means that that flip does two good things. It sets up a future Mystic play because now there is a disgraced card. Also, if Sasuke suspected Faraz had the Fool, it's good to get your king flip out early when there's not much worth claiming.
I'll do this here. Okay.
So he's allowed to play anything he wants.
All right.
Let's see what he decides to do.
I am going to
Thinking about the judge, it looks like.
play the judge.
Hmm?
And I am going to ask if you have the Mystic.
I do have the Mystic.
Okay.
So if Faraz wants to use his ability, this leaves him to easily for
So
Sasuke.
that because now I choose not to put a card
That's probably
in my
right.
antechamber.
Because if he chose to do that, then he would get a
Can you
free
choose
Mystic
not to?
play.
It says you may play a card to your antechamber, so I may, but
Oh, nice.
So-
Okay.
but let me rethink this. Just one moment here. So now this is a 7, right?
It's not.
No, that's a soldier. He's got to confuse with the
Okay.
soldier.
That is not a 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a 5. My bad. My bad.
Politely
I don't know
pointing out.
why. Okay. Okay. So. Yeah. Just a casual 5.
Interesting. So it's true that would give up a free Mystic play. Because again, if you invoke the Mystic's ability to wipe out any 1 through 8 number in its
I will
abilities,
play the Mystic.
Oh, he should do this. Absolutely.
And I will say I'll use its power. And anything that is a number 8. I'm going to say
Perfect.
no
there it
longer
is.
a value. Or it's going to be a value of 3.
Value of 3. Right.
So now the question is, will Faraz...
And I get to flip that.
Let me...
King's hand that.
yeah, will
Okay.
Faraz King's hand the Mystic?
Okay.
I
could.
probably would, if I were in his shoes, preserving the Sentry.
All right. I will.
He decides against it.
play my
No,
Sentry,
he's just gonna,
which is not
now...
only useless, but also cannot use its power or anything. So it's just a 3.
You know, Sina, I've found myself oftentimes forgetting about the king's hand in certain circumstances, that it can counterspell a given play. Do you think that's maybe what happened here?
It could be, yeah. I think that
Now,
DancingFaraz doesn't have.
why we flipped the Oathbound. Oh yeah, because you flipped your king. My bad.
He does not have that much experience, I think, with actually using the king's hand as its counterspell ability, but more so that it's a big 8. So I think maybe just lack of game knowledge on that one. We'll see if it was intentional later on. I mean, it's still the good side of not using it is that you still have 2 8s in your hand that you can play as 8s. They become 3s and useless once they hit the deck. So if you're just trying to survive, it's a really good card. However, in this case, he's not trying to survive. He's lost the ability to stop this assassin, essentially. So I think Sasuke's got a 2-point hand here, unless he decides to change it up a bit. And we'll see if he
anything more than a 3 or higher on that. Is that correct?
I honestly don't know if it shows an 8. Let me see. Sina is going to tell us here. 3 or higher.
Okay, wonderful.
Got it.
So I would play Soldier. And do you, by any chance, Princess?
I do not.
Okay.
Okay.
That is just a 5 then.
Be interesting if Sasuke believes the princess was the burn card for that, as opposed to Faraz's successor. That could lead him down a blind alley.
Okay.
What did he ask? Sorry, I missed that.
He asked for the princess.
Ah, interesting. So now he must know that there's nothing that DancingFaraz can do.
Let's see here. Okay. So it's just a 5. I am going to play King's Hand because it's an 8 in my hand, but when it's played, it's a 3. So I can play it over yours. Yeah, that's correct, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So now we have another 3 showing.
Faraz is in a huge pickle here because he has
to flip his king, and yeah,
okay,
pretty soon here.
That's the danger of putting a powerful card as your successor, especially a high-numbered card.
I will play my Elder
when you don't have the assassin accounted for.
Correct.
Because you might get into a situation like the one Faraz is in right now, where you're staring down that assassin. You've got a card that could bail you out, but the only way to get it is to get assassinated.
Okay, if that's the case, I will also play my Elder.
Lucky for Sasuke, there's literally no way he can mess this up.
That's very true. It is, at this point, about as dummy-proofed as a hand can get. Pretty much.
Feel bad about for DancingFaraz on that last hand. I mean, that's real tough. He's going to kick himself when he sees what he could have done. Still worried about something. I think maybe he thinks he has the princess in his hand. If that's the case, I mean, you just play the warlord, force out the princess, or flip, and he's still got it in the bag. So I wonder what he's worried about here.
Yeah, again, it's interesting to think of what's happened. You know the princess is not in Faraz's hand.
No, don't put that in your mouth.
And if you hear noises in the background on my side, that's my toddler son,
okay.
Arlo Koch.
I will play.
Hi, Arlo.
Queen.
All right, so he plays the king.
Okay.
Now Faraz has to flip his king.
You can't do that, Faraz.
My Oathbound.
Wait. You can't. Can you?
Cannot.
I can because it's a
You
higher
cannot.
value. I
You can't
cannot.
play Oathbound because you have to have another hand card in your hand to do that.
That's right.
You have to have a second card ready.
Yep, Sasuke is
your
exactly right. You can only play an
is that
Oathbound on a higher value card
okay.
if you have a card to
All right,
play
well, then
after
I have
it.
no choice but to flip my king.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a second there, I was like, is he going to do it?
And then that's the game.
Yeah, Sasuke did that so politely, dare I say even meekly, to present the assassin to win the hand. For a second, I agreed. I was afraid he wasn't going to do it for some reason. Perhaps playing 10D chess to set him up for a future circumstance. But that's it. All right, folks. Well, heck of a hand right there. 3-2 now. DancingFaraz up on Sasuke. Again, a lot of interesting things as a result of that hand. So, again, like a lot of hands, it was set up by interesting circumstances right at the beginning. DancingFaraz choosing to hide his princess as the successor, Sasuke hiding his assassin as his successor. Turned out for Faraz that came back to haunt him, because as a result of that, he couldn't reach that card when he needed it. It got him into a tough spot where the one card that could save him was the one card he couldn't access without exposing himself to that assassin. For Sasuke, very sharp play, setting himself up very well with his king flip impeccably timed to then use the Mystic to wipe out Faraz's eights, which was his strongest element of his hand that he did have access to. So again, very smart play there by Sasuke. It looked like maybe he took a wrong step when he used the Inquisitor at the beginning to fetch out an Oathbound from Faraz's hand. It ended up setting himself up very nicely indeed. Sometime a lot of smart stuff there. So back and forth, playing off very well. Again, we've got two competitors that are feeling their way through right now, trying to get settled in the tournament circumstance, and it's a close game indeed, 3-2. Indeed, as Will mentioned, as Ad Astra mentioned, it's a tight game indeed. We'll see what this hand portends for us. Let's take a look at the burn cards. Face up burn card is going to be the Mystic.
Hold on, it looks like we've already got a mulligan.
Oh yeah.
So
Cool.
looks like DancingFaraz chose to use his mulligan on this hand. Not
Okay.
sure
Just show both of our hands.
if he's
and just drop them like this.
How did you
just
select
dropping
all
out.
of them?
You just
dropping
like
it
use
out
your mouse cursor to select all of them
Oh,
over top, and then just drag them all up.
Okay. Cool. Mulligan confirmed. Awesome. Okay.
All right.
you got mulligan.
So we have a mulligan there. You know what's interesting is, I mean, that hand that Faraz had was not a great hand. But
was it a mulligan hand is the real question.
yeah, especially because it turned out the face down burn card was the princess. And again, when the face down burn card is a powerful card, it tends to make both players think their hands are worse than it actually is.
Correct.
And I think that may have been what happened there.
All right, let's see if they can get this started. They're really shuffling that deck.
All right, and because Sasuke won the last hand, the first player king passes to Faraz. He gets to choose initiative here. We'll see what he wants to do with it. All right, couple of deals here. Let's take a look at what the burn cards are. The face up burn card's the Fool. The face down is the Soldier. So pretty much
Sasuke really draws those assassins, I have to say.
that's true. He has. So let's take a look at Faraz's hand with the first player king. The Princess, the Sentry, the Warlord, both Elders. What do you make of this one, Sina?
Ooh, this is not a great hand, I don't think. I mean, he's got some utility with that Inquisitor, but he doesn't have the Fool, doesn't have any Oathbounds. It's a tough one, honestly. I'm not sure how much those Elders are going to help. The Zealot will help, though.
That's true. I think it's a very survivable hand. It's going to
survivable for sure.
It's going to require a skillful play, I think, to work the situation to his advantage. Going across the table to Sasuke, he did get the Assassin. He's got both Oathbounds, the King's Hand and the Queen.
That's a solid hand. That is an absolute solid hand. We'll see if he's able to capitalize on it. He's got the Mystic, which I really like. He's got the Queen. He's got the King's Hand, so he knows that the other player doesn't have the King's Hand. So It's a solid hand.
We'll see if he elects to use the assassin here. He just won a hand with it, and this is another kind of hand where the assassin can very much come into play. Let's see what he chooses to do with the signal.
Here. Yeah. How about I want you to go first.
Sure thing.
I think the Sasuke would actually want that.
Thank you,
So
Faraz.
So you'll just do this.
I would agree with that.
Okay, and then we discard one and shelve one.
future Imposter Kings player in the background there.
That's right. Arlo is 9th seeded right now in terms of Imposter Kings players. And he is the top seed in the Imposter Kings Junior Tournament.
No, don't do that.
Even though he did just color on the floor of our kitchen with a crayon.
You know you're not supposed to do that.
Oh, I love it. So it doesn't look like he's throwing away his assassin this time, so that's good.
No, instead he chucked one of the 2 Oathbounds. Looks like
makes sense.
Faraz ditched the soldier.
Correct. And what's the face down again?
Face down is a soldier.
Okay. So no soldiers. That should make
Alrighty.
Shane pretty happy here because he hates the soldier. Which I think that's him as Imposter King Wife in the chat. Not 100% sure though.
Okay. I will go first.
All right, the successor, Zealot for Faraz, the assassin, the successor for...
Hiding it again, even though he's going first, but he can inquis it out. Something big here. I mean, whatever he wants, honestly.
Imposter King Wife says it's your actual wife, Sina. That would be, I believe, the person you're married to.
Wow. Yeah, I told her I was going for a walk, so this should be interesting. No kidding. I'm glad she's here. Thanks for joining us, Imposter King Wife.
Just so long as it doesn't change to Imposter King Widow, you'll be all right.
Very well might be.
All right, I'll use a judge.
So,
Let's take a look here.
leading with the judge. Okay, often a strong leading card because...
Do you have the princess?
I do have the princess.
Okay. Just gonna add this card to my antechamber.
Okay, so he uses the Judge Inquisitor combo. He's been brushing up on the previous games, I think.
So that means he's
Fancy
guaranteed to
Faraz.
play the Inquisitor
I will
next turn.
Play the Warlord,
Okay,
and it is just the 7.
just the 7. Arlo is not a huge fan of that play, but I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's probably the best play that he had available there, knowing the judge had already set up the Inquisitor.
Inquisitor.
Again, I love the Judge when you have 2 sevens
and
for that
give me
reason.
a second to think about this.
We are learning about crayons and crackers.
Actually, I've muted my stream chat for that reason, to try to keep it quiet for so you can hear that, Sina. But folks at home, they're going to have to learn about crayons and crackers on their own. Unless that is, for the folks on the chat, let me know how much you want to learn about crayons and crackers, and we can pipe that through.
Let's see, Vivek is taking his time
Do you
here.
have an elder?
Oh, goes straight to the
I do
Elder.
have an Elder.
Wow, that was
Okay.
very quick after
So
he
I will
deliberated for a
play
second
the
there.
Elder.
Now he's gonna have
Interesting.
to make another decision.
Drawing out an elder. So Imposter King Wife asked what kind of crackers. So stone ground wheat thins from Trader Joe's are the crackers du jour.
Really showing what the Imposter King's wife is really interested in.
So it's
Quality of
interesting.
the cracker.
You know, it's funny. Earlier on in the chat, There was the question about why Faraz kept both elders when he only had one royalty card. Usually I'll burn an elder in those cases because of the marginal utility of having 2 countermeasures for only one opposing royalty card. But here, that play might just work out because he still has it in his pocket.
Just doing a casual 6 there. Man, I really would have wished for him to actually quiz something big and then flipped his king to get his assassin.
I will...
It looks like he might not have to wait too long, though. Potentially. We'll see. I think that DancingFaraz has keeping that Inquisitor just for the assassin, potentially. But what he doesn't know is that Sasuke could actually King's Hand that Inquisitor, and then I think he can't really do anything else about it. Oh, he decided to flip his king early.
See, that was the danger. I agree with you that our friend Sasuke was really playing a dangerous game by leaving his assassin underneath his king for so long for that exact reason, and now it's too late.
I'm going to play...
I don't know. Yeah, let's see what he's going to try to do here. I mean, he can Mystic kill out the 3s. I don't know. He's got a lot of options. Okay, so he's going with the Mystic. Is he just going to force the power?
That any cards of value 5.
Interesting.
Okay.
That is
Or
unfortunate for him.
They're value of 3 and can't use powers.
Right. Okay. 5. Got it.
I've got to think that is really unusual to use the Mystic's ability on 5s. Typically 5s have pretty modest powers.
No.
And the judge has already been played, so...
Anything that's is worth nothing. Got it. Okay. Alright. I will play my Inquisitor.
Of course, both soldiers, by the way. One was the face down, one was the one that Faraz threw away, so...
Yeah, and again, I'm really curious about what was Sasuke's play, why he was afraid of the soldier in that case. What's your thought there, Sina?
Okay.
I think he was just trying to target something that he had in his hand, but I think in that case, the 3s would have been a stronger play.
And then...
Because he knows he doesn't have any 3s, and those are actually extremely detrimental to Sasuke's hand.
Yeah, okay. Do you have... Okay, let me just think 1 second here. Sorry for the delay.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Just computing what he could have.
Do you have an Oathbound?
I do not.
No. Okay.
Didn't he have both the Oathbounds?
Got it.
He
Wait,
did.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I believe he did.
Huh.
Okay.
No. I'm wrong.
It's okay. Yeah. It's thrown away.
A lot of intensity again, building up.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, it's kind of a tough situation now that he has that burn as the assassin, or his successor as assassin. Really sucks having the assassin when you can't use it.
Okay.
What's interesting about these players...
I wonder why he flipped his king. Sorry, just really early. Okay. He needed to use that, I think, on a higher value card. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
Okay.
So... Well, I that is a very strange move to not just play on the 4, but I think, again, it speaks to both players playing very conservatively. I find, in this case, neither player has tried to put the other player under pressure but has been more playing for survival. Would you say that's been the case?
Yeah, it seems to be the case. It's like they want to maximize how many cards they can play rather than going for the attack, which is different than what I was seeing from DancingFaraz that one time.
Those are two different balls.
This next one is okay. This one is going to be a tough decision.
I sure hope he doesn't use the princess to swap. Can tell you that much.
Okay.
There's nothing better than giving someone a useless assassin.
Okay.
And Faraz has got to be assuming
I'm gonna
that.
put down my.
No, you don't want to do.
Here he goes with the sentry.
Okay.
And
If he uses his ability, would you King's Hand it?
Actually,
I will play it.
I could see.
Hands hovering over.
Yeah.
I'll play it as a casual 8.
Casual 8.
Think I would not. I think I would let it play.
Okay. Let's see what he decides to do with this. Now, if he plays his King's Hand, DancingFaraz still has that Zealot that he could play. And if he decides not to, and he plays his Queen, then DancingFaraz has both the Elder and the Princess that he could play.
Yeah, thinking about the end game here is interesting. You know, if you look at Faraz, so you've got card advantage. So, you know, if this plays to the end, you'll get a 1-point win. You know, at this point, right, you've got to think, the only way you win in Imposter Kings is either you assassinate the other player or you play a number higher than they can manage. It's all about numbers pressure. And the only numbers pressure that Faraz has right now is that princess.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm gonna play the King's Hand on top of that.
Okay.
Yeah, not using its power, just
Sure.
its casual.
Got it. Then I will play the Zealot.
So he does go with the Zealot. Man, that's too bad the Mystics didn't hit the threes. This would have really helped Sasuke in this case.
That's exactly right. That was a baffling decision because I just don't know what Sasuke had to fear from the soldier in that case. I think he was just trying to get value by just hitting cards that Faraz had, but he had to know he had those threes. Or at least one
Yeah, I
three.
think that's absolutely right.
I'll have to play
Even if he did number 2, for example, he could have at least had a 3 here.
all of these cards.
Right,
I don't know. I think it's a value play is exactly right. So now
And then I
the
will.
only bad move he can do is play the
I will
princess and use
play
its ability.
Well,
Uh-oh.
no.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll play my Elder.
safe
okay.
move.
That either of them work. You know, with the princess.
Nice. Yeah, you won that one.
Okay.
I only have. Yes. Oh, can't move that card for some reason.
All right, folks. Well, the stream couldn't handle the tension there at the end. Took a blip out, but we're back. And so it's 2 points for Faraz, who, you know, played it tough, you know, played carefully but smartly, and puts himself within one hand of victory there. So 5-2 now, DancingFaraz over Sasuke. Sina, what's your takeaway from that hand?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sasuke could have gotten away with it if he had a better Mystic play there, but I think that he was trying to go for value and it just didn't come up for him. If he had hit the threes, I think that would have really helped him out there.
I think that's exactly it. That was the pivotal play. It, you know, you can see what he was doing, but it really was a whiff, and that set him down a path of destruction there. So DancingFaraz in the catbird seat now. We'll see what he does with it. And he got
Catbird.
the catbird. See, that's right. And he got a rainbow hand here. So let's see what the burn cards are. The face-up burn card is going to be the Inquisitor, and the face-down burn card is an Oathbound. Interesting. Okay. So again, retaining the true king will be Sasuke. He'll choose who goes first. Let's take a look at his hand. You got the Fool, both Elders, Soldier, Oathbound, Warlord, the Princess. You got both Soldiers, and the Oathbound, Warlord, and Princess. What do you make of this one, Sina?
It's not the best. He doesn't have the Mystic to handle the double eights that could potentially be out there. He does have the Oathbound full combo. He does have power over the Elders. He's got one Oathbound for that as well. Not a great hand, but definitely not something that I would be super concerned with in terms of mulliganing. It just depends on whether he can keep it to 2 points if he decides to lose this one.
That's right. I look at this and I think what will make this succeed or fail is in the Oathbound full play, or if you can get the Warlord out at exactly the right time. Flipping across to the table. So this is Faraz's hand. Assassin, Zealot, Inquisitor, Judge, Mystic, Sentry, King's Hand, and Queen. A great top hand to this one.
This is a killer hand. If I had Clairvoyance as Sasuke, I would immediately mulligan this. This is very dangerous to play against. But if I do play against it, I have to go first, and I have to try to get some of those power cards out of his hand.
Interesting. I think that this is winnable if I'm Sasuke, but again, it all revolves around getting an opening from Faraz and using the Fool to its absolute maximum. If you can't do that, I agree he's in a lot of trouble. All right, well, let's see what they do with it.
Oh, so he does decide to mulligan.
Yep,
sorry, I did not.
He's chucking his hand there. So, yep, saw there was a weakness there. And, this is a good time to mulligan. Because
I agree. I think that this is too pivotal of a hand to not mulligan.
When you're down 5-2, again, a normal 2-point loss will end it all for you. There's no reason to try to save your mulligan any longer at that point. You've just got to play to win. So there you go. Sasuke tosses it in. Both players have now used their mulligans. So from now on, Sasuke can't use any more mulligans because you lose 2 points to mulligans. So that would lose him the match. DancingFaraz, if he so chooses, could elect to mulligan and just give up 2 points.
No, yeah, I was going to say DancingFaraz can definitely mulligan, but it's going to cost him 2 points.
All right, so let's see what they get this time around. The face-up burn card is going to be the Warlord. The face-down burn card is just a mere Soldier. So it's basically what the players have. That's the strength of their hand. Let's again look at what Sasuke has reeled in. So it's Fool, Inquisitor, Soldier, Mystic, Judge, Sentry, and both royalty cards. So you got both royalty cards, but neither the Elders. Interesting hand.
So yeah, no Oathbounds to combo into that Fool, and he has to use either an Inquisitor or a Mystic to get rid of that Assassin on the other side.
Intriguing.
But he can't force it though, which is one of the things about the Oathbound is that it makes it so they can't use the King's Hand against it. So he's going to have to go full force into it, either probing to see whether he has the Assassin and then flipping his King early, or if he does have the Assassin, he needs to get rid of it by using both the 4 and the 7.
Got it. Okay, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Survivable, but there's a lot of interesting play to survive the Assassin. That is the key here. So speaking of the Assassin, jumping across the table. So this is Faraz's hand, both Oathbounds, both Elders, and the Zealot, the Assassin, and the King's Hand. So a lot of survival cards, the Assassin, and just the King's Hand on the top end.
Would you mulligan this hand, Dan? Even giving up 2 points?
No, I don't think I would, because this is all about just surviving until the other guy just runs out of cards and has to flip his king just because he's exhausted his hand. And this is a very survivable hand between the 2 Oathbounds and the 2 Elders. Worst case scenario, I think you could run your hand down to 1 point by just using the Oathbounds to keep alive. So I wouldn't mulligan this. I think you could win, and I think you could also lose at just 1 point.
I can't agree. Yeah, I agree. It's a playable hand, but we'll see what happens.
All right, we're going to go back to our overhead view and give them the signal and see what they want to do.
I'd like to go first.
You'd like to go first? Okay.
Yes.
Sounds good.
I think that's the right move.
So yeah, let's do that thing where we throw one away and put our successors.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Hope you didn't see that.
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
Just trying to figure out what he's going to throw away here.
I will.
Definitely need to keep the assassin.
Yeah, that would be disastrous to chuck the assassin here. His whole hand, any hope he has of winning is going to revolve around the assassin play. Faraz chucks an Inquisitor. That's his burn card. His successor is going to be the Zealot. Interesting. Pulling a page out of Johnny Go's book, it looks like Sasuke has chucked the Fool.
I think we're good to go. So I'm going to play the Inquisitor.
And the Sentry.
And I'm going to ask.
He has to ask the assassin here.
Do you have the assassin?
Here it is.
There it goes.
Okay.
And yeah, just like that, I think Sasuke's got a really strong hand here. At least 2 points.
Yeah, at this point, if I'm Faraz, everything is just about making this a 1-point loss because there's no way I'm going to walk out of this succeeding otherwise. Which he can do. I think he took a real risk by leaving his assassin in his hand. I really think he should have successored it because it's his only path to finish. He's going to flip his king early anyway because his hand is otherwise pretty weak. But now he's in a real jam.
I almost would have had the sentry ready so I could snag up that assassin of Sasuke. Do the old reversal.
Ah, good thought. I was surprised to see him successor his sentry there.
Yep, because if he didn't actually get that Inquisitor, that could have been real dangerous for him.
Okay. Play the judge. Do you have an Oathbound?
I do have an Oathbound.
Okay.
He's probably going to throw down a soldier, I think. Really powerful combo with the judge. No matter whatever he plays.
It's my turn.
Oh, sorry. I have to do one thing to play a card to my hand.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
There comes that soldier. I think here you have to play the Oathbound.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. You want to... Yeah, you have to play Oathbound. You don't flip your king here. You don't use your king's hand. Yep, never mind. There it is.
Wow. I wonder why he's playing the king's hand.
Just casually.
No.
So now he gets to just play a soldier right on top of that. Maybe he thinks the Oathbounds are necessary for them to run his hands down in order to get that 1-point hand.
You know, that's a good point. That is a good consideration there.
And I still believe I do get to use its ability. So I'm going to guess. Do you have an Oathbound?
I do have an Oathbound.
Okay.
Guess it's the same card. He's just going to keep it out there. Interesting.
You know, actually...
Because he has Sentry and the Fool, so he knows there's nothing he can take.
You know, looking at Faraz's hand, he's got 2 Oathbounds, 2 Elders, and his face-down card is the Zealot. That would be a very easy hand to run down to a 1-point loss with.
Could be, yeah. He should disgrace 1 card at least here because of... There we go. There we go. Just so he can get his Mystic online.
That's right.
Just peppering the court a little bit.
Also disgrace that.
Oh,
okay.
Didn't want that judge either.
So you are power of 7, is that right? I will flip my king.
All right. Now he's got a hand. He's got a hand to survive the ages here.
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
Oh, you know what you got to do, though? He's got to bring that hard 7 in and just demolish the 3s with the 6s. And that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and I just don't see a way in which Sasuke can actually hold this to 2 points.
What do you mean? If he plays the Mystic right now and kills all the 3s, that's an
I'll play my
easy.
Mystic.
No, you're absolutely right.
And
I
lose
don't
ability.
completely
And I would
miss that.
say anything that is a card of value 3 cannot be played.
Well, there's it.
There
Yeah,
it goes.
that's it.
3.
No. Yeah, not flip it.
He's got 3 3s in his hand. That feels bad.
Yeah, he can use the Oathbounds to ditch 2 of them, but it's that last one that's going to stick him with a card in his hand when
Wait
this is
for
all
1
over.
second here.
Correct.
Fish that have already been played, just so I remember them.
Or no, actually, I'm wrong. It's a good point.
Yeah,
Since
that sounds good.
Faraz is going now, just as Johnny Go pointed out, he can play one of those 3s now, and that gets him out of the jam.
Gotta play
But
the right one.
here is the thing. There it goes. Yep, there's the Zealot.
However, if Sasuke flips, so this is at least going to stop the 3-point hand, I believe. But if Sasuke, we'll see what he does.
Yeah, if Sasuke flips his king, then the Oathbounds can't burn a follow-on card. So he should just play one of his elders then. Yeah, that would actually, flipping the king would save a 2-point win, because then he would have to play either one of his Oathbounds or a useless 3. Then he'd have to use his other Oathbound to burn the other 3, but then you can't play the Oathbound on its own. Because all 3 of Sasuke's remaining cards, the Sentry and the 2 royalty cards,
I'm
are
going
all
to
over
play-
6.
He doesn't know, of course, that he has a double Oathbound combo waiting for him.
So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, again, that there is, I don't believe there is any way in which Faraz can win this hand.
Nope.
It's
But
all
he can
just
definitely determine whether it's 2 points or 1 point, all dependent on this. And if he flips his king, I think he can hold it to 2 points. If he doesn't flip his king and play something right now,
Going to play the
well, he might have another opportunity to do so, but we'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I will play my Oathbound. And then I have to play. Is that right? Space that going with play another card. Okay. I will play.
I love how the chat is puzzling out how DancingFaraz could win based on really bad plays. But Sasuke's got to flip his king here. He's not going to, I don't think.
I like how Arlo laughed at that joke too. He enjoyed it very
Yeah,
much.
he loved it. It's a good joke.
It's the king flip. The king flip is the pivotal part here. If he flips his king, he can be 2 points.
I will play.
But that's a really non-intuitive play to do here, to flip your king.
I believe I can. I can play with no cards in my hand, so I'll play my prince. Oh,
Princess.
And you're right. You know, Johnny Go pointed out the psychology here for Sasuke is he's still trying to get a 3-point hand out of this.
Okay. And now it's my turn. Play the Oathbound. And then I have to play my Elder.
yep.
So Faraz is out of cards,
You
and
play
Sasuke,
the King, and then you.
he
So that's.
So there we go. 1 point for Sasuke.
so that's it. Holy moly. I would feel like I pulled a magic act with DancingFaraz, but again, as I mentioned, that hand was very survivable. It just didn't, besides the assassin, have any pressure to win. So, you know, it was well geared for either a 1-point loss or an assassin win. The assassin was neutralized early, so Faraz played it very well to minimize the damage.
And not only that, DancingFaraz now gets the true king.
So 5-3 now, DancingFaraz over Sasuke. DancingFaraz now with the true king. And again, one standard 2-point win will put him over the top. So, a lot to analyze there. If I'm Sasuke, I would not feel satisfied with a 1-point win after that hand. All right, here are the hands making their emergence. Let's go ahead and see what's getting burned here. So the face-up burn card is going to be the king's hand. The face down is the fool again. Okay, that should be interesting indeed. Faraz
I really don't like playing with that king's hand. It always seems to get either burned or faced up.
And I feel like the fool has seen very little action in this game. It hasn't been played at all. It hasn't really been targeted at all. And it's certainly not going to be part of this hand as well. So looking at Faraz first, who has the true king. Looking at his hand, he's got the queen, left to right, elder, judge, inquisitor, queen, soldier, mystic, assassin, and elder. Similar handle last time, wouldn't you say, Sina?
Yeah, really is, yeah. Except for he's got the mystic this time.
That's true, a mystic to target those 8s, except there is only one 8 this time around. If we look at the nicely sorted hand of Sasuke, zealot, inquisitor, soldier, both oathbounds, warlord, sentry, and princess. So looking at this, he's got the warlord, the sentry, and the princess, a good top end. Neither of the specialty cards at the bottom. He knows the king's hand is burned. Having both oathbounds is interesting. I would just put number pressure here.
Yeah, I think so. We'll see.
All right, let's go ahead and pop to the overhead and see what they want to do.
Yeah, you ate all of that. There's no more. You ate it all.
What did they decide to burn here?
So looking here, looks like
Got an oathbound on that side, yep. Soldier on the other.
all right, successors, zealot for Sasuke, assassin. Okay. And here we go.
Okay, so Sasuke's got to flip his hand pretty soon here. He's under some time pressure.
Did Sasuke say his target?
He did. He said the assassin.
Okay. So yeah, Faraz doesn't want to let it go too long before flipping his. If I'm Sasuke, doesn't matter what gets played, I'm flipping.
There we go. Here comes the mind games. We knew it was going to come out at some point. Oh, he looks at his successor card. Look at that. They're both trying to mind game each other right now. He just said that himself.
Is it now?
Sorry about that.
Like exhausted.
They are laughing at each other, saying, "Are we both just mind gaming each other right now?" And they certainly are.
I don't know for us. I wouldn't double guess it.
So I don't know. I mean, I would be too scared not to flip right now. I think I would be pretty confident with Sasuke's hand, and I would probably flip. The only issue with flipping is obviously the mystic, right? You're giving them basically a free mystic to the other player, but neither player knows that the fool's the face down, right?
That's right.
Oh, gee, that's tough.
Okay, you're all done?
Do you have a
So he
mystic?
decides to play the soldier here.
I do have a mystic.
So he asked about the mystic.
Okay.
Just the 7, not flipping any cards, obviously. Being smart about that, because if he does accidentally disgrace the cards, then the Mystic comes online. DancingFaraz certainly does not want to play the Mystic right now. He does probably want to flip here.
That's right. That's one of those cases where soldier play can be really good because the 7 puts Faraz under number pressure to play either his Mystic or his Queen, and it also denies the opportunity to disgrace some cards.
I will, flip my king.
So there's the king flip.
Of course, he has the treacherous assassin in his hand,
Alright,
which
now
will
it's your
instantly
turn.
win him the game.
Okay, I know you wonder yourself, but your hands are.
Not only the game, but the entire match. See what he does here. This is tough. I think he knows that he has the potential to have the assassin here. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just play the Outbound. Oh. Not going to use its power.
Not gonna use power. Okay. I will play my Mystic.
Okay, so here comes out the
And
Mystic.
Since there is a disgraced card in the court, I will say all 6s are null and void.
Interesting. Choosing the 6s
Sorry,
there.
all 6s have no power, and they're now a 3.
Oof. I wonder why the
That's swing and a miss
6s.
there. Yeah, I think he should have gone for the 8s there because that's the only threat.
Want water?
Yeah, I mean, one has already been played, so, and I just don't know,
Water.
given Faraz has very few high-numbered cards, what he had to worry about with the other 6 that was out there.
In fact, Sasuke could win this by just playing 7 and then an 8. We'll see. I mean, 7, then if he plays the queen, then he has to play his queen, and then, I mean, it goes a little bit further than just what I said, but he has the power. The question is, does he suspect the assassin in the other player's hand? That 7 should be disgraced, though.
Okay. I'm going to play Nate. And I'm going to use its power.
Okay.
And I'm going to flip it. And I will be able to take, I'm going to take the Mystic.
Okay. Oh wait, no. Is the Mystic? Was it disgraced when I used it?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot to.
Okay.
I forgot to disgrace it.
Sorry.
My bad.
Sorry about
Johnny Go is Johnny on the
No,
spot
that's my
there,
bad.
spotting the fact that, right, the
Okay.
Mystic is face down.
That's my bad.
All right, so now he's got to think about a whole new scenario here.
All right.
Both players really wanting to win this round.
just
They have
take
to
the
think about
Warlord
all the different
as it's-
possibilities. He is
Okay,
playing the
so
Warlord, which is going to
Warlord
put
is a
pressure.
7.
Hmm.
Now,
As is, got
Dancing
it.
Faraz has to play the queen, I believe.
I will.
Yep, that's his only
play,
choice.
The queen.
And I think the sentry will do him in.
And let's see. So.
right, so Sasuke can flip his king or he can play his princess. I think... What is he going to do here? I mean, what is he thinking? Like he has to either flip his king or he has to play the princess, right? Oh, he's thinking about flipping his king.
That's it.
And that's all it wrote.
Yeah.
And he flicks it straight into his arms too, just like that.
Straight from one hand into the other.
Which
That's
means
victory.
that's victory.
That sure is.
Well played. Good bluff.
Oh my gosh.
Thank
Bluff.
you, Sasuke.
All right.
Good game.
So the big moment, that did it all right there at the end. Keeping the assassin, keeping the powder dry right for the moment when there was no other choice, bluffing successfully, and it's 7-3 DancingFaraz over Sasuke.
That's right, Dan. That was some pretty crazy play at the end there. You know, you had to think, oh, shoot, do I have to flip my king or not? Had to really understand whether he had the assassin or not. And in the end, he did. And that cost him the entire match.
Well, that's it. You know, again, the assassin was used successfully before. It's all the mentality around it. You establish a pattern about whether you use it or not, whether you successor it or not, whether you play around it, and then, you know, the other players just got to say, am I going to trust he did X or Y or held true to form? And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't.
And you can hear the Sasuke fans in the background here. They're really not having a good time with...
That's right. Sasuke fans really had it.
All right. Well, we actually ran a little bit over here. And so we're going to do the post-game interviews afterwards here. We're not going to do it live. We'll have it on the video. Apologies to everyone who is looking forward to those interviews. We certainly will have them up. But stay tuned. Tonight at 9 p.m., we have Dolan versus Will. Mr. Rogers, I'm sorry. Playing here at 9 p.m. PST.
Right, folks. 9 o'clock is when we're playing the second half of our doubleheader tonight. We'll get those interviews later on. Sorry that we've got to drop out here quickly, but folks, a great match, very well played by both DancingFaraz and Sasuke. We'll talk about the bracket here in an hour and a half, and we're hoping to see everyone there. So hope you all enjoyed a fine, exciting evening. All right, well...
Fine, exciting evening indeed. And yes, this is the true anime timeline right now, which is Sasuke is now on the loser's bracket after being assassinated by DancingFaraz. And we'll see if he gets to make it back up or if this is the end of the road and his sister will be, unfortunately, never able to go to school.
All right, well, a lot of villainy on its way, hopefully, but Sasuke's got a long road full of excitement in front of him if he wants his sister to get that education. For everyone else out there, we'll talk about the bracket in an hour and a half. We wish you nothing but the best. Have yourselves a great dinner. We'll see you back here in 90 minutes.
All right. See you, everyone.